Okay, I'm going to try and explain to Bob what I'm talking about. Most flat earthers will say that the moon is around 3,000 miles above the ground. It's kind of hard to pin them down on any kind of specific number, but they all pretty vaguely say it's right around 3,000 miles up. So what I've done here is I've placed a moon that from directly below appears to be in the first quarter. Obviously the line from point B up to the moon represents its distance from the ground. The horizontal line represents the ground, and point A represents an observer 3,000 miles away from the point directly under the moon, and point C represents another observer 3,000 miles in the other direction. So they're 6,000 miles apart. Now, if the flat Earth model is correct, then we should expect observers in different locations to see the moon very differently. So let's go down here and place my lens directly over point B and show you what the moon would look like from there. At the very same moment, someone 3,000 miles away over at point A should be able to look up the moon and see that. Well, it's not a first quarter anymore. It's a waxing crescent. Okay, well, let's go 6,000 miles back in the other direction to point C, where we have another observer looking at the moon at the exact same moment. And he sees the moon as waxing gibbous. Not only that, but observers all along that 6,000 mile line between the two positions should see the moon in completely different phases and with different faces of the moon directed toward them. Now, what do we see in real life? Well, down here at the end of the table, I've put a couple of marks and pencil on some tape. They're exactly, the mark on the left there is exactly 30 inches away from the moon. And the mark on the right is 1 inch to the side, because the moon is 30 Earth diameters away. So that makes a difference in angle to the moon between these 2 points of about 1.9 degrees, and that's the greatest difference anyone can ever see in the angle of the moon from the Earth at the same time. So let's put my lens directly over the mark on the left, and I'll go ahead and zoom in here. There, now I've got it directly over the mark on the left, and let me move it to the mark on the right. Not much difference, huh? And that's what people see in real life. If the moon were really just a few thousand miles above the surface of a giant flat disk Earth, then we would have known about it since the beginning of human consciousness, the beginning of human civilization, that the moon is just a short distance away and it's circling around in a plane above the Earth, because we would constantly see the phase of the moon changing throughout the day as it rotated around above us. And once civilization developed to the point where we could communicate quickly from all over the world, we would have been able to take pictures or just make observations of the phases of the moon to see how they looked at the same time from different places on the Earth, and there would be no question about it. Everyone would have known that the Earth was a big flat disk with the moon and the sun orbiting in planes a few thousand miles above the surface. So, why don't we see that?